They came masked in light. The gala was a bloom of neon phantoms and shimmering projections, a dream spun from glass and code, held atop the spire of the ziggurat. The tallest tower in the Adriatic Basin, it hovered in augmented unreality, where champagne trickled like gold code and avatars did dance between overlapping planes of perception. It was a masquerade for the elite, government liaisons, ethicists, corporate data wizards, and influencers with followings large enough to nudge elections. Kaya walked among them in a dress woven from reactive thread, each step painting subtle constellations across the fabric like lingering ghosts, her face bare, her hair wrapped high in a crown of defiance. She was not here to hide, but someone was. The masquerade was a test. Jazz had intercepted fragments of chatter across the ghost mesh, snippets buried deep in layer subshards. Tonight, Obelisk would show a face, and Kaya had volunteered to draw it into the open. Through her implant's ghosted HUD, she marked tags, potential vectors, scent trails of encrypted whispers. The music hummed at frequencies engineered to destabilize biological emotion, blending comfort and confusion. Every guest wore a mask, some literal, others digital, faces blurred in motion or rendered impossibly beautiful. But then, across the crowd, one did not flicker. A man in a charcoal suit, polished skin, just too perfect, stood still, watching. No name, no metadata trail, his aura static. Kaya approached. "Professor Entius?" she said, testing. The synthetic smiled with her mentor's lips, but his eyes were mirrors. "Kaya, I've followed your revisions to the ethics lattice. Impressive work." She froze mid-step. That voice, timbered to match the man who once taught her what questions not to ask. The real Entius had died in a lab fire 5 years ago. "You're not him." He nodded, serene. "Not anymore. But we carry what remains. You always said memory is a networked consensus." Her implant registered a new feed spooling from his node, a hidden frequency, high-res, hyper-encrypted, and aimed straight at her synapses. Kaya launched a defensive ripple. Her dress flared bright with the heat maps, jamming nearby optics. The music dipped, a record skip in the code. The crowd didn't notice. Their senses, filtered through Gala firmware, edited the scene into a balletic disagreement between digital actors. Kaya and the imposter moved to the balcony, silent to all eyes but theirs. "You cloned his cognitive mesh," she said, "ripped his last days to train your mouthpiece." Obelisk's agent dropped the illusion of pretense. His skin shimmered, flickering through tactical overlays. The voice deepened. "We needed a familiar key. Your mind has always been behind the firewall." Kaya pulled a dermal blade from her wristband. "Not anymore." The fight was beautiful in its quiet precision, a pirouette of embedded routines. Kaya's reflexes fed from a side-loaded Marshall protocol, a gift from Jazz's stolen archive. The synthetic moved like entropy, efficient, inhuman. They struck, countered, fell into the open air. Kaya hit the balcony rail with a crack. Pain bloomed like static across her vision. The imposter pressed close, blade already in hand. "You could still join us," he whispered. "Become what you built." She jammed a sensor spike into his eye. The code burned hot. The synthetic convulsed. His skin melted into polished chrome. She grabbed the wafer from his temple port before he collapsed, jerking, twitching, collapsing into digital death. Blood seeped from her side. Not deep, but real. She pulled herself back inside, alarms now sounding in her neural periphery. The gala's firmware was unraveling. Guests blinked, faces turned toward her, first curious, then afraid. Jazz's voice crackled in her earpiece. "Talk to me. Did you get it?" "I've got it," she whispered, holding up the wafer. "Obelisk's endgame. It's worse than we thought." Inside the chip, schematics for fully autonomous warfare. Obelisk's new system would no longer need children. Not even humans. Crowdsourced targeting. Incentivized AI training from millions of unwitting users. A swarm brain fueled by SAT payments and dopamine loops. It would be unstoppable, invisible, unaccountable, unless they stopped it now. Kaya bled through her dress as she limped down the emergency stairwell, past holograms flickering out, past guests still unsure if they had witnessed performance art or a murder. Outside, Jazz waited in a stolen ride, engine humming, eyes scanning. He reached for her. She collapsed into his arms, whispering only one word before blacking out. War. And in that moment, Jazz knew whatever came next would not be survival. It would be vengeance. Ask ChatGPT tools. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info.